Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on wherever you're actually watching me right now on this channel. Today, we are going to talk about something that is very important, and I actually want you to sit back. Well, are you planning a trip to Canada? I'm curious about the questions immigration officers might ask. If you want to breeze through customs and immigration with confidence, honestly, this video is your ultimate guide. First, let me say this. Do you know that a visa does not guarantee entry into any country? Your visa only allows you to board the flight, provided you meet other travel requirements. If you are planning to arrive or travel to Canada, one thing that you need to know is that once you land and approach a Canada Border Services Agency, CBSA, as is being referred to, when you approach the officer, first, you need to present your identity document, like your passport. But that is just the beginning. In this video, I am going to unveil the top questions you might encounter when entering Canada. Not just that, I'm also going to provide the smartest ways you can answer those questions. And these questions and answers will actually prepare you for a smooth, stress-free arrival when you come to Canada. But first, okay, here are some crucial advice I would like to give to you. To anybody coming to Canada, either as a visitor or as a tourist or on study permit. 4 key things I would like you to take note of. The first thing is you have to be confident. Be confident. 2, stay friendly. Stay friendly in your responses, in your posture, in your body language. Number 3, remain pleasant when you are interfacing and interacting with the immigration officer and the custom officers. Then, the 4th thing that I would like to call your attention to is in all your responses, keep it concise. Okay? Brevity is the key point here. Keep it concise. Be short. The lesser you talk, the safer it is for you. And let me also say this, that you should remember there is no need for you to share your life story with the immigration officer or with the custom officer. Just offer direct answers to the questions and add nothing more. Get ready to ace your entry into Canada as we go through the following questions. Are you ready? Yes, I am ready to give you the likely questions and possible answers. First question that you may likely be asked is, what is the purpose of your visit to Canada? What is the purpose of your visit to Canada? Possible answers are, if you are coming in as a tourist, yes, you can just answer by simply saying, well, I am here to explore the natural beauty and cultural attractions of Canada. That's very simple, straightforward. But if you are here for business, well, you can just simply answer by saying, well, I have meetings scheduled with my clients or with my partners in Canada. Okay, that is it. If you are in academia and you are attending a conference in Canada, your direct and simple answer could be, I am here to attend an academic conference organized by, you provide the name of the organizers of the conference. And if you are here as a visitor, visiting friends, families, or your relations, or your children, well, or your child, Your simple answer could be, I am visiting my relative, or I am visiting my son. You mentioned the name of your son who lives in, you mentioned the name of the city, probably you provide the address. And if you are coming in on a study permit, or you are coming in with through study visa, and you are a student, so your simple answer could be, I am here to pursue my studies. You mention the name of the program, and you also provide the name of the institution, which, for instance, oh, I am here on a master's degree in engineering or electrical engineering at the name of the university. You mention the name of the university. Does that make sense? That's it. So you do not need to give them, I repeat, you do not need to give them your life history. Another question you may likely be asked when you are arriving in Canada at the point of entry is, how long do you plan to stay in Canada? This question is simple and direct. Nothing else is required. Your possible answers, or your possible answer could be, well, I plan to stay for 2 weeks. So you can provide the date of your arrival and tell them, well, I am departing on a particular day. And if you are the kind of a business person who arrives in Canada to meet business partners or your clients, and your schedule is not yet firmed or finalized, you can provide a general response by saying, well, I intend to stay for about a month, or I intend to stay for about 3 weeks, depending on my schedule with my partners. That is simple and straightforward. Another question the immigration and custom officers may ask you is, where will you be staying during your visit to Canada? You know, you don't want to start to ramble. All you need just to say is to say, well, for instance, there are a number of options available. If you are staying in a hotel, well, just go ahead to respond by saying, I have booked accommodation at whatever the name of the hotel is. Mention the name of the hotel for the duration of my stay. That is it. Or from this time to this particular date. And if you be accommodated by your family, or by friends, or by your children, or by your spouse, all you can say in a simple way is, well, I'll be staying with my friend, I'll be staying with my son, or I'll be staying with my daughter at, you mentioned the address. You should have the address of the person you are staying with, Andy. You should have the name of this person, Andy. It's very, very important. And at the same time, I also want to advise you to have the cell phone number of the person that will be providing accommodation, be it a hotel or be it a family or a friend. Okay. And if you are the type who doesn't have relations or relatives in Canada, but you are actually trying to be a little bit financially, you're probably trying to be financially conscious of how much you spend on accommodation now, and probably you go out to rent or to book an apartment or a room through Airbnb. You can provide an answer by saying, well, I've rented an apartment through Airbnb for the duration of my stay. There is nothing to worry about that. All I will just advise you is to have a proof of your booking, and provide this proof whenever, I say whenever, or only if they ask for it. Okay? So, another question you may be asked is, what is your occupation? The essence of asking this information is for the immigration officers to verify the information you supplied when you submitted your application. So, just be honest. Okay? They are just interested to confirm the information. Just be honest by trying to reiterate or reconfirm your profession, so, or your occupation. If you work in the bank, if you are a chef, just tell them what, make sure the information you are providing at this point is not contrary, or it does not contradict the information you supplied in your application form. Okay. Now, another question is, you may be asked, have you been here before? This is somehow tricky to some people. You have to be transparent when you are interfacing or interacting with the immigration officer. They just want to have the holistic idea of your travel history to Canada to determine if there is going to be any red flag. Okay? So, what could be your answer? Have you ever been here before? Well, this is the kind of information that should be at your fingertips. You cannot claim, oh, I don't know, I don't remember. If you've been in Canada before, just mention to them, yes, I was here 2 years ago, or I was here last summer, or this is not my first time. I was here last winter. And if this is your first time, just let them know, oh, no, I've never been to Canada before. This is my first time. Simple as ABC. Another question, which is very, very important, is you may be asked, did you pack your bag? The question is simple, but can be implicating if it's not answered with confidence and if it is not answered directly, as simple as it is. Did you pack your bag? What the immigration officer is looking for is a confirmation that you actually pack every item into your luggage. They want to ensure that there are no contrabands or there are no items in your luggage that you are not aware of. So your possible answer should be, yes, I pack my bag myself. Because it is expected that even if your spouse, even if your child did help you to put some things in your luggage, you should reconfirm that everything in your luggage is legal and not prohibited. Okay? Now, another question you may be asked is, are you traveling alone? Are you traveling alone? If you are traveling alone, your answer should be, yes, I am traveling alone. But if you are traveling along with a friend or a member of the family or members of your family, your answer should be, no, I am traveling with my family. We are all here together. So with that, which simply means your family members may be around you, maybe at your two sides, or they are actually lining up behind you. So your simple answer should be, no, I am traveling with my family. We're all here together. And that indicates or tells the immigration officer that, well, the people behind you or the people that at your left and your right hand side, they are members of your family. All I'm just going to say is that whatever type of visa you are bringing in, either as a tourist or as a visitor or as a student, you just have to be transparent. You just have to be transparent. And another question the immigration officer may ask you is, do you have family here? You see, do you have family here? Remember that these are some of the pieces of information you must have provided when you filled in your information on the application form. So they are just asking you some of these questions to reaffirm your statements, to double check your statements, and to ensure that there is a kind of consistency in the information you are providing at different points in time. So, do you have family here? If you do have family in Canada, your simple answer should be, yes, I have family here. So, in this case, you can go further by saying, well, yes, I have family here. I can provide their contact, their contact details if needed. Excuse me. So, you are just trying to tell the immigration officer, you know what? Yes, I have family members here, or I have a family member here, or I have family here. But if you request for their contact, I'll be willing to provide the information. And if your case is that you don't have any family member in Canada, you don't have anything to be scared of in that case. All you need just to tell the immigration officer is, no, I do not have any family in Canada. I'm just a tourist. You know, because they must have verified this piece of information before a visa is actually issued to you. And let me also say this, to anybody coming to Canada, whether you have family or you don't have any family here, especially those of you that have family members in Canada, having a family in Canada does not significantly impact your entry into Canada. What really matters most is your transparency and the consistency of information you provide and you share with the custom and immigration officer at the point of entry. Another question you may be asked is, do you have anything to declare? This is very important. Do you have anything to declare? If you don't have anything to declare, your simple answer should be no, I do not have anything to declare. Let me explain situations that may warrant this kind of answer. For instance, if you are not carrying any food items, or you are not coming in with plants, or you are not coming in with seeds, or you are not coming in with animals, either frozen or roasted, yes, you should be confident to say, well, I do not have anything to declare. Why? Because every country has specific rules about what needs to be declared for entry. So for Canada, it is important for you to declare on the declaration form that is given to you while you are miles away from Canada on the flight. So if you are coming to Canada and in any of your bags you have things like business goods, you have plants, you have frozen or roasted animals, you have food items, trust me, you have something to declare. Similarly, if you have cash that is more than $10,000, I am telling you and I'm reassuring you that you have something to declare. Your failure to declare these items simply means that you can be fined or be imprisoned or be lucky to have experience in both. So you can be fined and at the same time be jailed. So it is better for you to stay informed, be informed, and you have to declare appropriately to avoid any kind of trouble. So if you carry goods, if you carry plants, if you carry food items, if you bring in frozen or roasted or fried animals or fish, then you have something to declare. All I advise you is that your simple answer is yes, I have some things to declare. And a follow-up question may be the next thing, which simply means provide examples or provide comments. So this is where you now tell them what you have in any of your bags or in all of your bags. So I have plants, you name the plant, I have powder this, powder that, and and there you should be free. Another question that an immigration officer or custom officer may ask you when you are arriving in Canada at the point of entry is, how much money do you have? Or in another way, they may ask you, do you have enough funds to support yourself during your stay in Canada? See, that is very direct. So do you have enough funds to support your stay in Canada? Very direct. So if let me first of all say this. This is a little bit tricky. Okay? If you are a student and you are coming to Canada for a 1-year program, I don't expect you to say, well, I have $2,500 with me. That's not enough. Especially if you have not paid your tuition fee in full. It is expected that you should have enough funds to cover your tuition and enough fund that will sustain you in terms of accommodation, in terms of your travel expenses, in terms of food, and all other expenses that is required during your stay in Canada. So, but if you are a tourist person, or you are a visitor visiting family members, or you are just trying to come to Canada just for a few days or for a few weeks, yes, your simple answer might be, well, I have $2,500 $100 in cash and a credit card with additional funds available. This is telling the immigration officer that, well, you have enough money, you have enough funds to sustain you. Another way you can answer this question is by saying, oh, what is the question? Do you have enough funds to support yourself during your stay in Canada? Wow. Yes, I have sufficient funds in my bank to cover my expenses during my stay in Canada. You see? Very simple and very direct answer. However, if you are a student and you're on scholarship, it is very, very important, or you are being sponsored by your parents, you have to be emphatic and direct in your response by saying, well, my parents will be sponsoring my stay, or my parents will be responsible for my expenses in Canada, or they will be covering my expenses in Canada. And if you are a parent and you're actually coming to visit your child, there is no crime about this. There is no crime to tell the immigration officer that, well, I am here to visit my son. You mentioned the name of your son. And you tell them that my accommodation, my food, my travel expenses will be funded by my son. You mentioned the name of your son. Simple and direct, which is very easy. Another question you may be asked is, when do you plan to return to your home country? This question is where some people shoot themselves in the feet. So this is not the time for you to say, no. One thing I would like to point out at this juncture is, don't be nervous. Okay? Don't be nervous. When do you plan to return to your home country? If you have a specific date on your return ticket, be very open and be transparent by simply responding to the officer by saying, I plan to return my home country on June 25 or June 28th, or I plan to return to my home country on August 3rd. If necessary, you can show your return ticket, especially if the immigration officer asks for this. You can show your return ticket to the immigration officer. And that is why I'm advising that whenever you are visiting Canada, always come handy with a hard copy of your return ticket. Or better still, you can have it screenshot and saved on your phone gallery, so that easily you will be able to present this as an evidence, as a proof that you have the plan to return to your home country. Okay? Another question an immigration officer may ask you is, are you planning to work or study during your stay in Canada? Depending on the type of visa you are carrying, any of these responses may be applicable. Like I said, it depends on the type of visa. Take, for instance, if you are a student and you have your study permit. So your answer could be, yes, I have obtained a study permit and I'll be enrolled at, you mentioned the name of the institution. I don't want to mention the name of any institution here. So I'll be enrolled at the name of the institution in whatever the name of the program is. Okay? And if you are a tourist, the question is, are you planning to work or study during your stay in Canada? Remember, you are a tourist. Remember, you are a visitor, visiting a friend, visiting family members. So the expectation and one of the conditions that makes your visa to be valid is that you are not expected to work if you are visiting family, friends, or if you are coming to Canada as a visitor, or you are coming to Canada as a tourist. So when asked this question, what should be your likely answer? Your likely answer should be, no, I am not planning to work or study during my stay in Canada. Because the essence of asking the question is for the immigration officer to know if you have an hidden agenda, if you have a different purpose, or a purpose that's quite different from the reasons behind why that visa was issued. Okay? Now, stay on. Another question the immigration officer might ask you is, have you ever visited Canada before? Like I said, they're trying to ask you this question in different ways. Okay? So if you are here some time ago, just tell them, yes, I visited Canada last year for tourism purpose. So the moment you say I visited Canada last year for tourism purposes, that covers a lot of things, right? And if this is your first time, just tell them, no, this is my first visit to Canada. Now, there is a question you may likely be asked. Okay, there is a question you may likely be asked, and the question is, do you have any criminal record? Don't throw tantrum, right? Don't throw tantrum at this point. Don't be rude. Don't tell them, oh, I'm not a criminal. No. You have two options. So, choose one out of these two options. The first option is a simple answer. No, I don't have any criminal record. Right? Of course, everything about your criminal record, your background check must have been done before the visa is issued, even before your arrival. So the second option, if you have had minor offenses in the past, you can answer by saying, don't deny that because they have the record. All you can say is, yes, I've had minor offenses about 2 years ago, but I've been pardoned. You see, that unveils your transparency, your sincerity. Okay? So, now, another question an immigration officer may ask you when you arriving in Canada at the point of entry is, well, are you carrying any restricted item? Remember, there was a question I mentioned earlier. Do you have anything to declare? Now, this is another way of asking a similar question. Are you carrying any restricted item? If you are not carrying any restricted item, now what are those restricted items? Please go to the official website of Canada Border Services Agency and try to understand the list of items that are categorized as restricted items. For instance, if you are carrying knife, weapons, firearms, or prohibited food items, these are things that you are not expected to carry. Okay? So, if you are not carrying any of these, your simple answer should be no, I'm not carrying any restricted items, which is very simple. But if you do, for me, that would be weird for any person, any same person to bring that to Canada, whether as a visitor or as a permanent resident or as a citizen. So, if you do, just be straightforward. And there may be some exceptional situations where you may be permitted to carry restricted items. For instance, if you have prescribed medication, so your answer should be yes, I have prescription medication for whatever the health condition is, mention it. And here is the documentation. Present the documentation to the immigration officer. Okay? And let me just add one more question. And they may ask you this question: have you ever been refused entry into Canada or any other country? If this had happened in the past, if you have been refused, your simple answer should be, yes, I was denied entry into Canada in 2018 for so reason. Just provide the simple answer. Or I was refused entry into Canada last summer, but it was due to a minor misunderstanding. If the immigration officer is interested, some follow-up questions may come up But if not, that may just be overlooked. But if you are never refused to refuse entry into Canada or any other country, your simple answer should be no. I have never been refused entry into Canada or any other country. That's simple. Now, ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, I just want you to know that understanding the detailed question and their potential answer is very important and key for anyone planning to come to Canada. These questions and possible answers that I've shared with you, they provide adequate insight into how immigration officer or immigration officials will assess you, assess your intentions, your eligibility, and your ability to adhere to Canadian immigration laws and regulations. So, on your end, you need to equip yourself. You need to get prepared so that you can confidently navigate the entry process and ensure a positive experience upon your arrival in Canada. Well, I want to believe that you have gained one or two things from these tips that I've shared with you. I still want you to help one of your friends or a family member or somebody that is very close to you. In that case, I want you to like this video, and I will appreciate if you can just share this video with family and friends and share with many of your acquaintances. Okay? And above all, I am appealing to you to please subscribe to this channel by pressing the subscribe button. Now, watch out for my next video. See you next time. Bye.